Hello, my name is Hallie Zeleznik, and I'm from the Department of Physical Therapy at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm excited to share findings from a recent study titled 6-Minute Walk Test Reference Distances by Age and Sex Using a 12-Meter Pathway. This was recently published in the Cardiopulmonary Physical Therapy Journal by myself, Libby Anderl from Tier Memorial Hermann in Texas, Lauren Szot from the School of Physical Therapy and Texas Women's University, as well as Tier Memorial Hermann, Tracy Rice from the Division of Physical Therapy at West Virginia University, Amelia Siles from the Ohio State University, Geneviève Olivier from the Department of Physical Therapy and Athletic Training at the University of Utah, Megan Eikenberry from the Physical Therapy Program at Midwestern University in Arizona, Maggie Bland from the Program in Physical Therapy at WashU in St. Louis, Missouri, and Wendy Romney from the Department of Physical Therapy and Human Movement Sciences at Sacred Heart University in Connecticut. As you likely know, the 6-minute walk test is a very widely used measure of submaximal exercise capacity and walking performance in rehab. It is recommended for use across a variety of patient populations and across the continuum of care. Now, the original standard protocol for the 6-minute walk test, as described by the American Thoracic Society, requires a 30-meter unobstructed pathway, which is nearly 100 feet. And this is something that many clinical settings simply just don't have. And that results often in either clinicians not completing the test at all or adjusting the distance of the path to a shorter length. However, adjusting that distance to a shorter length significantly lowers the overall distances walked. So a more space-friendly 12-meter pathway has been recommended for use, and this pathway has demonstrated reliability, but until now, there were no published reference values for this shorter configuration. Our study aimed to fill that gap by establishing reference values for the 12-meter pathway for the 6-minute walk test in healthy community-dwelling adults aged 20 and older. We also explored how age, sex, and perceived exertion relate to walking distance on the shorter course. To do this, we conducted an observational cross-sectional study with a convenient sample of 238 participants across 6 geographic U.S. regions. All participants were at least 20 years of age, living in the community, and able to tolerate, per their own report, standing or walking for 6 minutes independently without an assistive device, and without any conditions that might hinder or limit their walking performance. Each participant completed the 6-minute walk test using a standardized 12-meter pathway, and this standardized protocol has been described by the Academy of Neurologic Physical Therapy in their core measure 6-minute walk test protocol. We recorded the total distance walked and post-test ratings of perceived exertion, or RPE, using the Borg 6-20 scale. We found that average distances walked varied by age and sex. For women, average distances ranged from 362.7 meters in those over 80 years of age to 528.1 meters in the 30 to 39-year-old age group. For men, the average distances ranged from 355.7 meters in those over 80 years of age to 540.4 meters in the 30 to 39 age group. You can find all of the average distances as well as the ranges of distance walked in tables 1 and 2 in the article for each age group. Our regression analysis suggested that age and RPE were significant predictors of walking distance, while sex was not. Together, age and RPE explained about 39% of the variance in distance walked. So what does this mean for clinical practice? The reference values provide a really much needed benchmark for clinicians who use a shorter, more feasible pathway such as the 12-meter pathway, particularly in spaces that are very limited. By comparing a patient's performance to these age-specific reference values, we can better set goals, track progress, and communicate outcomes and goals with patients and different members of our care teams. It's important to note that perceived exertion appears to play a role in the overall distance walked also. And patients who report lower RPEs may walk shorter distances on the 6-minute walk test. And that's not necessarily due to physical limitations, but perhaps due to lower effort levels on the test in general. To apply these findings in clinical practice, you'll want to use the same standard protocol that we used in the study with a 12-meter out and back pathway. You can find this protocol for free on the Academy of Neurologic Physical Therapy's website. You'll also want to compare your patient's distance walked to the reference values by age group in tables 1 and 2, and consider the patient's RPE when interpreting the results, especially if the distance walked seems lower. These tools can help you make more informed decisions in goal setting and care planning. Thanks so much for your time, and we hope you enjoy the full article.